What's up out there? Welcome to 2024, and this is the first Ancient Relic Mode update of the year. Now, I've gotten one relic, and these seem to be getting fewer and further between, but this one here is minus 3 second hit point regen interval. I had to read that a few times because I was thinking it should be 0.3, but it's actually -3. So I don't know what the hit point regen normally is, like it's every second or two or whatever. It's fairly quick. I noticed this was a little bit slower. It just felt slow, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And once I got this and looked at it, I'm like, man, that is -3 seconds on this. So we should be auto regenerate. I got to be careful on my wording here because it's not the auto eat interval it's not the auto eat that we have to worry about. This is actually the hit point regen you get just sitting there. So you could take like in thieving or something like that. You take a little small hit in thieving, you get hit for 20 hit points or something like that. It's not going to hit your auto eat, but you will regenerate some life as you go. So this actually speeds that up. So they must have really slowed it down for relic mode. And maybe this brings it back closer to where it's supposed to be. I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting. So let's see, what have I gotten? I now have the Elite Amulet of Defense. I now have the Bone Necklace. I've got some extra amulets of looting, and I did get the Crown of Relics. However, now this is kind of interesting. It says contains disabled modifier. I actually tried equipping this and it doesn't do anything. So I guess if we're going for item completion, this works. I don't know if I want to hang on to this thing. It sells for quite a bit of money. So we could, as they say, alk it away, 100% money. I mean, like we could make some serious money on it, but I think I'm going to hang on to it. I don't know if anything's ever going to activate this, so I don't really want to get rid of it. It's kind of I don't know if relic mode will ever turn on some of the doubling and some of that stuff that you get from this. So I don't really want to get rid of it, but it is worth a lot of money. So I'm going to hang on to it for now, and I'm pretty starved on bank spaces, so I'm going to have to deal with that. But let's see, I can toss this stuff in now that I've discussed it. We can get that out of the way. What I have been doing, you'll notice I have attack, strength, and defense up at 60, also ranged. Magic is up at 56. What I decided to do is to go into I guess we should go to combat first. So I completed the chicken coop 702 times. I've completed the undead graveyard 962. And I did the Hall of Wizards for a little while. It looks like I didn't really have to do much in the Hall of Wizards. 84 times, and I already had ranged up at 60. Well, okay, let me go this route. I think I did strength on the chicken coop. As I leveled up from 50 or whatever I was, 50 or 55 up to 60, I took strength and attacked the chicken coop. What I'm going for is the pets, basically. So that's why you see so many completion attempts on this. I don't really care about food boxes or anything or the loot necessarily, although the undead graveyard is what gave me this elite Ammy of defense. So what I was trying to do is go get the pets. So it took me a while to get this done. I let it go on strength for a while. I probably switched to either attack or defense and then finished those off. I had to park on the undead graveyard for a very, very long time. Obviously, I had to complete that 962 times because it took forever to get this pet. So this pet from the chicken coop gives you +1 accuracy. The undead graveyard gives you +1 gold, 1% gold from monsters. And I think we got the snack. That one came up at some point. Of course, we bought all the ones for township that I could get here. We've got the mining node one. We've got the +10 hit point and the one for astrology. So I've got some pets. And then I need to work on the bandit base, but I don't really need XP for melee right now, so I decided not to work on that because I have other things to work on, basically. So what I wanted to do is try to tie in locating pets to leveling these skills, because I can take these skills, hit a really weak dungeon, and just overpower it and walk on. So that's how I leveled up this stuff. And then the ranged one, like I said, I took that into the magic place, the Hall of Wizards. I sat there and attacked that place for a little while, and I've already got level 60, so I don't need to go into it anymore. I was working on magic against the Spider Forest, I think. That's why that's up at 84 clears. So pretty much trying to match up the combat style for the dungeon, and that's why I ended up working on that. And then I've been working on prayer points in the meantime, and I did a little bit of Slayer, I think, not much, but I did a little bit of Slayer. I thought it would be more beneficial to go. The problem with Slayer is I'm on normal tasks, and I have to really pay attention to it and switch my combat styles, or I don't want to lose Slayer coins. So if I turn on the auto Slayer, it actually uses up Slayer coin to switch. If I want to, say, avoid certain ones, if I want to use all melee, I would go up against range. Well, it's going to burn me out of Slayer coins trying to keep rolling the new ones, and I don't want to mess with that. But I do want to use the more, I need to clear these tasks out. So I can't just, I could let it run on, say, the easy tasks, but you know, I could overpower easy tasks fairly easily, but I need to be working on normal Slayer tasks, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because I need to complete, 10 more, 9 more, something like that. We need 8 more Slayer tasks to start unlocking this gear. So was kind of working on that. And then I don't remember all the skills we've got to level up. I did work on agility for a while, and I was looking, I don't remember what obstacle I was looking at doing in here, but I looked at this obstacle 6, and then I saw that I could get plus 50 max hit points, so I went with that. I think I started going for like, I don't know, maybe this summoning one where I would need maple logs and stuff like that. And I was trying to figure out how to get that. And then I looked over and I'm like, hey, I could get 50 hit points. And all I have to do is spend some lobster to do it. So I went with that route. And then this here, all of these have a negative except for this one, because we don't have all the chance to preserve and all, like they've disabled all that. I went with this one here because there's 0 negatives to it. Like this, I would have to take reduced XP. This one, it would reduce damage, reduce hit points. You know, like all of these have a negative except for this one. So I don't have to worry about negatives on this one. I just took it and it's kind of like a disposable one. And this is the obstacle that gives you all negatives anyway. So I've got some more I can do on this to unlock obstacle 8. We can get that done. But I've kind of just been tinkering. I don't know, I kind of let it sit for a little bit. I don't remember if I worked on any fletching or crafting. I kind of don't think so. These might be where they were. I'm not sure. But I did do some rune crafting, so we do have death runes now, and we do have the ability to run, let's see, spellbook, that's what I want. So we can run, well, I need blood runes for that, but we can bump up to Fire Blast. So we can actually go up from Firebolt to Fire Blast. Eventually we're going to hit blood runes here very soon. I can't remember exactly where those pick up, but that'll be level 75 and we are 72. So those will be coming up very quickly. And then we can go up to 85 to get ancient runes. So we're going to get spirit runes a little bit after that. But basically, I'm not going to run a dungeon today. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to work on letting rune crafting build up. And I've been using this auto rune crafting. Now, if you just didn't catch that, it actually switched between the one to the other. So why is it making more of these? Oh, because I need 25. So if you've never used, this is the mod that I'm using right now is this auto, is it on here? I guess not. Auto rune crafting. Now this is one of those semi mods, and this one took me a little while to figure out how it works. So I'm still not quite sure like what linear, I guess I understand. Okay. I guess I understand now. So pretty much what you do is you set a max cast. Now this is for linear or lowest cast. So I could probably set this to linear. Well, so linear probably goes and says it's going to do mind and then air and then water and then rune or earth rune and then fire and then light. So it's going to go in a linear direction, and I don't really want that. Lowest cast basically levels them all up the same way. So instead of plowing from one rune to the next, it's actually doing a whole blanket of runes. Now, and then this thing will also go and start mining rune essence when it needs to and stuff like that. But the way this works, and I think what you're supposed to do, is you would go into, say, your spell book here, and you would look at, make sure I'm not covering this up, you would look at this, and it's going to say that I need to run, if I'm going to cast Fire Blast, I would need 4 air runes, one of the, whatever the death or whatever that rune is. I can't remember which one it is. Yeah, death runes. So you would need 4 air runes, 1 death rune, and 5 fire runes. So what you would do is plug in a 5 here and a 4 here and a 1 or whatever, wherever the death rune is over here. So you would set that up. That way it gives you a pile of runes to cast that spell 25,000 times. Yeah, it just switched over to body runes down there. The way I use this thing, and maybe I'll get to that at some point when I'm more stable on the magic that I'm using. The way I'm using this is I just put 1 in each one because all the ones that I want. I don't care about mist or dust or any of this stuff. Like if I was using the combination runes, and I typically don't use combination runes, but if I was using the combination runes, I would just go ahead and put numbers into each one of those also. But if you were going to do like curses and stuff like that, you would have to get a list of all the spells you're using with the quantities of runes of each one, and then total all of that up, put those numbers into this, tell it how many times you want to cast it, and then when you let this thing rip, it just starts going across and creating the runes for you. That way you don't have to think about it. So it just kind of creates them across the board. The way I'm using this, I just want 1 of each rune for 25,000. So you'll notice it's not going to create air runes because it's got 50,000. Now I probably want to say 2 on that because I need almost every spell has air runes in it. And to that effect, I probably want to say body runes need to be 2 and light runes need to be a 2 because every aurora has a light rune and every curse has a body rune. So if I was to come back down to here and put, say, 2 into that and 2 into that, that should have enough runes available for each one of these to be effective. Now, once you get further in, and the reason I'm just doing a flat 25,000 at the moment is because I don't know what spell I'm running. Like I would have to tailor this every time I tried to change spells, and I don't know that I want to mess with that. You know what I mean? So I would rather just pick a flat number and let it go. But I know that I need a lot more air runes, and I know that I need a lot more body and light to really maintain all of the spells. Because even if I'm casting a lot of fire spells, I still need air runes for everything that I do. So if I'm doing an earth spell or a water spell or a fire spell, I still have to have air runes as a part of it. So that's kind of why I've got this set up the way I do. Now, eventually, if we start getting into using one particular spell set, I will probably tailor this thing to that spell set and let it go. And then the other downside to this whole mod is that if it's on and you start doing rune crafting, like it takes over. So you have to disable it from time to time, enable it when you want, disable it when you don't want. But I also think this thing works offline. Like it doesn't run offline, but what it does is it calculates the in-between time and then it figures out what it was supposed to do in that middle time. It seems like it anyway. I think it does because I've caught the things running essence. I need to pay attention, but I think I've caught it running or mining essence, but I still get a whole ton of runes. Like if I come from an 8-hour stretch or, go to sleep at night and wake up in the morning, this thing's like done a bunch of stuff in the meantime. So that's cool. I think it does calculate even offline. What does it say up here? Nope. Yeah. So I like this mod. It is a little confusing to figure out. Endless crafting, just craft endlessly. But that's how I set this up. And I think I actually went through before and calculated all the different numbers. I could probably go check my standard account because I think I used this on standard at one point. But I had all these calculated up for whatever version of magic I was using at that point. But like I said, it kind of changes. What I wish they had on here was a button that said, take the spells that I have configured right now and fill in all the quantities for me and let me put my max cast up here. You could also say max cast is 1 and then put a quantity of each one of rune you want down. Like you could do the opposite. You could say I want 1 of each rune, but I want 25,000 air runes and 4,000 water runes. So you would put 25,000 here and 4,000 here. So you could do it the opposite way. It's just a numbers game is all it is. but this makes it a little more simpler. So if you do your max cast and then set this up for the spells you're using and the auroras and the curses and everything, you can actually lay it out to where it only creates what you want for that number of times, if all that makes sense. So that is pretty much what I've been working on right now. And that's kind of where my plans are for the future. I want to get my combat sorted out. I need to get magic leveled up 4 more levels, and then we'll be ready to tackle a dungeon. I honestly think we could probably try to do the Air God dungeon right now, but I don't know that I want to mess with it. And I also need to get off my ass and get through the Golem territory and through these other 3 dungeons here. Somebody was saying that there's a bug. I think it's once you beat Into the Mist or something like that, that it makes something to do with beating the previous dungeons that you haven't beaten, either impossible or there's some bug that breaks something. So I need to make sure and get through these dungeons. So we're going to have to do that. And somebody also mentioned that you do not get over level 99 until you beat Impending Darkness. So, or Into the Mist, one of the two. You can't actually go over 99 until you've completed probably the base game, which is okay. I was thinking you could get over 100, but you can't until you actually probably beat Impending Darkness. So we've got a long way to go for all that. And for the moment, like I said, this is what I'm working on, is basically to get my rune crafting caught up. I want to have a stack of ancient runes ready to go, because once we get into the Air God dungeon, if we can idle it or something like that, you have to clear it like 99 times to get ancient magic, the first ancient spell. Magic level of 70 and volcanic. Oh, so we can just clear the volcanic cave and we get some of the ancient magic. Yeah, so we're going to get some ancient magic right off the bat. And oh, we're getting a lot of ancient magic. I thought, see, there's the Air God, the Water God, Earth God, and Fire God. I thought all the ancient magic came from beating those, but it's just 4 spells. So once we clear the volcanic cave quite a few times, we're going to have ancient magic, and that means we're going to have some really powerful spells to use, and I need to have that the runes to support that. So that's what I'm working on currently, is to get this leveled up to 85, and then we'll be able to go. I don't know that I care about fletching or crafting getting leveled up. Maybe agility, maybe we'll max that out. I could do some more astrology, but like I said, I kind of want to work on rune crafting at the moment, and then maybe push a dungeon later. But also, as mentioned, we need to worry about these dungeons here too. So probably gear up for doing those maybe here soon. I'm not sure. Anyway, that will do it for this video. I think that catches us up quite a bit, and that's kind of where we're at. So that will do it for this one. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.